Okay, so this is Lab 6, Gate Lab. We're going to start off with the AND gate. So this is the pinout sheet that is available on Slate. And today we're going to do the NAND, the AND, the OR, and the NOR, exclusive OR. And so we're going to start with the AND gate, which is the 7408. If you look at the chip itself, there's got some writing on there, so, and it'll say 74. It's got might have a couple letters like an LS or whatever, and then it'll say 08. So you're looking for the 7408. So I'm going to drop it in here pretty much anywhere. Remember, I got to be across the bridge. And the first thing you want to do is you want to power the gate, because it needs power in order to operate. And if we look at the pins, we've got the pins run. If you look at this little notch that's right here, the pins run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Pin 7 needs a negative off your power supply. So I'm going to put my negative to pin 7. And pin number 14 needs a positive. So I'm going to put a positive in there. And I've already set up my board, so I've got a positive coming in here. That positive goes all the way through here, back to this positive over here, so I can feed it from both sides of the board. So now I've got my negative going there, my positive going there. Negative into pin 7, positive into pin 14. Now what I want to do is I want to also bring a negative and a positive to the switch. So I'll bring a negative to this switch here. I'm going to bring it to the left side of my switch. Remember, the center pin is the common. So the pins on these are in this row, right? So if you turn it over and you look at it, you got a pin there and a pin there and a pin there. There's really nothing there and there because the casing is larger than the pins themselves. So I'm going to put a negative there. I'm going to do the same thing to the other switch. So I'm going to put a negative on the other switch. And in electronics, we call that a low, bring in a low. And then what I want to do is I want to bring in a high or positive to the other side of the switch. So I'll do the same thing to both. So keeping track that you're going to the positive rail. Okay, so now you've got the center pin is not used as of yet. And that's the common. So when I turn the switch to this way, I'm going to get the low. When I turn it to that way, I'm going to get the high. So let's bring those over to our chip. And our chip wants a high. This is an AND gate, so I'll get a high and a high. I'm going to output a high. So I'm going to come out of the center pin on this here. And I'll go to pin 1. And I'll come out the center pin on the other one, and I'll go to pin 2. Okay. And now I also want to come out of there, and when this switch goes to high, I want an indication that it goes to high. So I want to bring an LED out of there. But of course, bringing an LED out of there, I've got to put a resistor in. So I have a 100 ohm resistor, so I'm going to put in directly below that, and I can drop it anywhere across the bridge over here. And then I'm going to put my LED in there. So I'll put this yellow LED. Now remember, this is a high coming in, so I'm going to have to make sure that I have my anode on that side, and then the other side is going to go to my cathode, or my negative side. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other switch. So I'm going to come out of this switch here, and the center pin, and I'm going to drop it anywhere across the bridge. And then again, I'll use a green LED, so I want to make sure I've got the anode, the longer side, going with that resistor, and then the cathode side going into the negative. And then I also want, when this chip goes to high, when it's outputting a high, I want it to tell me that it's going high. So I'm going to come out of pin 3, and I can drop that anywhere over there. And then remember, that's a high, so it's positive, so I'm going to go with the anode to there and there, and to the cathode. So now I'm going to hook up my power supply and see if this works. So I'm going to go high here. Okay. I'll turn that off. I'll go high here. So if they're both on, I'll get an output of a high. And if they both turn off, it'll go to a low output. That's a 7408 AND gate chip.